that, hey teachers, does anybody on this list that shouldn't be? Okay? Student athletes, hear me. If you are gone a couple days and you're sick and you need to make up a test, you are to be afforded days to make up that test. But what you can't do is you can't show up at the track meet and say, hey, Mr. Hopkins said I had a couple days. No, you got to be working with your teachers because I need them to communicate with me that there's a plan in place to support your learning. I can't in good faith have our students traveling or competing if they're not making it into the classroom first. Questions on that? Okay. So Infinite Campus, parents, guardians, if you need a refresher in using Infinite Campus, please let me know. I will connect you with that help. Parents, guardians, if you don't have the Infinite Campus app on your phone, that is the best way for you to track your child in all things middle school. Attendance, grades, tardies, all that stuff. You will know in real time when your teachers grade, student work. You will know immediately, oh hey, hey Sharon, Dylan just put up this score on his math test. Okay? Really good. So if you want support or help with that, let me know. It's important to acknowledge that behavior counts toward eligibility. So if we have a student athlete that is showing up to the office, being that they've been referred for their behavior, depends on what that is. At the same time, I just want to leave it kind of ambiguous. That could disrupt your participation. Students, you hear that? Okay, you gotta cut it in the classroom. You gotta walk the line. Everybody knows what the expectation is, and you need to rise to that expectation. Again, if you're not cutting it in the classroom, I can't in good faith send you to Durango. That's not what I'm going to do. Okay? Questions on that? All right, that said, I've talked about this in the past. Students, parents, guardians, let's support one another. If I'm good at mathematics and Dylan's a pro at language arts, let's be working together to support each other. I think that takes our student athletes to the next level, okay? And parents, if you find it in your heart you want to tutor, if you want to give me some of your hours in the capacity of volunteer to tutor students, I will connect you with students that need that, okay? And then students, hear me on this one. If you're struggling in a class, if it's becoming this thing that's a challenge for you, I need you guys communicating with your parents, with your teachers, with myself, because we will put supports in place. But if you're struggling in a class, I can't fix that after the fact. Or like I said, I can't have somebody showing up to a track meet and finding out the hard way. I had to take care of that before. You do. It's a top priority. It's your job. Okay? Questions on eligibility, anybody? Great point. Yes, Joanna, they are. Yep, that resets a week. Joanna, the one exception could be, like I mentioned, if Natasha is missing 2 days because she's ill, I'm going to give her 2 days to make up that work. But we need to be talking. Like, I can't be caught off guard like right before the competition. Okay? Great question. Any others? No? Welcome, you guys. Sportsmanship. You guys, I've lived in Pagosa Springs for 6 months. I consistently hear the same message from officials in all sports that we've participated in so far. Mr. Clopton, you got good news. It's typically the parents from Pagosa Springs that set the bar with sportsmanship. I want us to continue that legacy. It is super important. It speaks about our community. It speaks about us. It speaks about the support that we show our kids. And I insist that we have that level of sportsmanship everywhere we go. If we wind up somewhere with the world's worst track judge timekeeper, and it's a clear issue that it won't happen to us, by the way. We go to Bayfield and they're messing up. I want you to save that conversation for me, or have that conversation with Coach, and he will refer it to me. But I don't want us addressing that out loud in real time. It's not the right thing to do. Post-COVID, if I can say that, it is tremendously hard to land volunteers and persons who are willing to show up consistently and give their time. And for that reason, there's a good chance if somebody clearly doesn't know what they're doing, there's a good chance that they clearly don't know what they're doing. And so let's afford that human being our patience, our grace, and we will try to fix that on the back end. Okay? But anyone here who had kids in wrestling, it happens, and we got our remedies. But it takes us a little bit of time. But I want to do that diplomatically, and I want us to save face. Not only for us, I want us to protect the person who walked up in that spot. It happens. Okay? Once in a while. Any questions on that? All right. Anybody? Sportsmanship. Oh, I also wanted to suggest that you will see this sportsmanship modeled by our coaches and by myself. We acknowledge that negative energy from adults winds up being negative energy for kids. Kids don't always understand it. So I don't want us to put our kids in that spot, and I don't want us to be that group of folks that can't figure that out. Okay? Next. I do not anticipate any changes in COVID protocols, but as some of you know, there are outbreaks in the world. And knock on wood, we're not impacted by one now. If we wind up in a situation where we got to ask kids to put a mask on to be on a bus, we got to follow that rule. Okay? I don't anticipate a problem. Yeah. You can. I want you to work that out with coach. Okay? I just don't want surprises. With that, I don't foresee a problem. Okay? Yeah, appreciate it. Social media. I think everybody should get off of it. In seriousness, parents, guardians, as disciplinarian in the middle school, I have a whole bunch of issues that I've responded to this year and some that I continue to entertain that have started on social media. Okay? So, students, I want you to be aware that there are persons in the world who have taken away their own opportunities because they couldn't filter what came out of their mouth to their fingers on a keyboard and they put it online. Okay? Parents and guardians, it's a Google away. There are collegiate athletes. There was a Major League Baseball player just weeks ago who is out the league because said gentleman put some racist things on Facebook or Twitter when he was 17. He's 24 now, and nobody cares. He does not get to explain. He's not going to get an opportunity to explain to the world, yeah, but I was a different person back then. The way the real world works, people are going to hold him to that statement that he made. Okay? I don't want to see our students get in their own way, and I want us as parents and guardians to be modeling that. All right? So, student athletes, if you're going to put something online and it is not kind, or you're wondering in your mind, should I do this or not? The answer is no. Don't do that. Okay? If you have questions about it, I'd be happy to support. But parents and guardians, seriously, this is an issue. Okay? It's a serious issue. We have Discord at the middle school that starts on Saturday afternoon, and it's a tremendous challenge. So I'm asking for your partnership and your support in making sure that that doesn't impact our team. Pretty good track record so far, pardon the pun, pretty good record of that this year, okay? But students, for real, like that's a real thing. And guardians, parents, we're doing our best to educate your kids in the school, just so you know about the dangers of social media. But for some, they gotta learn the hard way, and I don't want that to be our case. Okay?
Question?
Yeah.
On social media?
Yep.
On a different note,
Yep.
there was a Facebook page that was put up so that we could watch what was going on if we couldn't make it to the games or whatever.
Yeah.
Would that be put in place
Alan,
so we could watch it? Like, let's say I'm working, but I want to watch charity run or compete, but I'm in the post office. You know,
Did everybody hear that?
or my parents who are in California
Yes.
want to watch her jump.
Or the out answer is it has to be set up by the team working on that meet.
Okay.
So if that's something that I can't control
Okay.
other ladies and how they would do it, but you can at least look at
Okay.
trying.
Because Mr. Sanchez put one up for the basketball team, and I'm sure it's for the middle school. I don't know if we could actually use that.
Yeah. So the question is, will our track meets be on the internet? Alan, I wish I could definitively tell you yes right now. I cannot.
Okay.
Family who lives overseas can check that out. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's number one. We should be asking ourselves that question. Number two, we should be asking ourselves, are my actions, are my behaviors, are my academics contributing to a better team? Okay? And that's why I mentioned, the more you guys support each other with your grades, you're making it a better team. And then the last thing I want us to consider is, does my participation in a track, is that making that sport a better thing? And by virtue of your participation, it absolutely is. But I just want those to be kind of some guiding principles for us. I want us asking ourselves those questions. Okay? I think it's just a good reminder. And then navigation. You guys, on the middle school webpage, you scroll over to athletics. You can scroll down to track and field. All of our information that you need to know should be available there. Okay? We've got schedule. We've got coaches' contact information, and a link to volunteer that I've yet to create. Additionally, if you need directions to like a game out of town, those two are captured there. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm open to input. If there's something on that website that should be there that's not, and you're frustrated, give me a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's make it better. Okay? I am open to that. And then lastly, volunteers. We need a bunch. We need 35 volunteers to make our Pagosa Springs invite go without a hitch. And so in closing, I have a sign-up sheet with Coach White. And parents, I am begging, insisting that you guys give us some of your time because we're all going to benefit from it, including our town. Okay? Our Pagosa invite, you guys, will invite some schools from outside of the San Juan Basin League. And at this point, we have 2. And to share with you guys, post-COVID, schools are just getting back in that mode, and so it'll take time. But I'm hoping in the coming years that thing grows and grows and grows.
Does that mean 2 extra schools outside of
Yes, sorry.
That would
yeah, my
that'd
bad.
be 8 total teams,
Yeah,
which is a lot.
good catch. Good catch. But I want us to work on that. I want us to build momentum, and I want us to just take it into next year and continue building. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a ton of information really fast. I did not meet the 15-minute requirement. What questions do you have? What am I forgetting to talk about?
If I get you a pair of shoes, is track spikes okay?
Depends on what she's running, but more than likely you're going to be spending.
Yes.
Right. She's gonna do a relay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Is there some easy way to know where
easy answer for that. Sorry, if I can now.
Yep.
I'm Coach White. I'll be really honest. The kids, I announce it to them because if the weather changes. Like it was rainy yesterday all day, and we switched it over there, and we put it in the announcements. But as a way of kind of a long way of answering this, guys, I taught at the middle school for 21 or 22 years. I now teach in that gray building right there. It's a new high school. Not the same high school as that one, it's a different one. But I know in my 21 years, and guys, this is a really good time, I'm talking to you mostly up there. When the announcements go over the intercom, what should you be doing? Listening to them. But I know the reality is they typically don't. As soon as you know that practice has been changed, they need to be calling and texting. And that sometimes is like, oh, well, I'm just, somehow, whenever they do have their phones. So, yeah, email would work fine. How guys email us? Yeah. Sometimes it's.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The only challenge that we have there, and thank you for saying it, the only challenge that we have, we're happy to do it. We will. But for some students, I have found throughout this year that we don't have the right information. And so I'm sending those out, and then a family comes back to me and is like, hey, you guys aren't communicating or what? So please, parents and guardians, just double check. Just call the office. Angelica Gallegos will help you. Hey, just want to make sure you guys got the right cell phone number, because it'll text, and the right email. Okay? That's imperative. Yep.
And then typically, you guys, typically for the rest of the year, it's going to be here. They'll come down here every day. The only time we ever change that is, in like yesterday, we don't have the right clothing on. It is miserable for kids in the rain. I realize it's an all-weather track, and we would run in the rain, but practice, we had things to do. So it doesn't happen very often, but a lot of it, you guys, and these guys know it, they just need to make sure they're communicating back to you. If I change my plan and say we're going to go at middle school, these guys know it. I'll say, where we practice tomorrow? They'll say middle school, where we practice tomorrow, middle school, where we practice tomorrow, middle school. They'll say it about 3 times. Does that mean it's getting to you guys? No, probably not. You know, and I want you guys to be kind of admit your mistake in that. Make sure your parents know what you're doing, and that there's a change. But for the most of the time, it's here. It really is here, unless there's some weird weather event. So,
Let me say one on that. Just lightning, you guys, parents, guardians, download the weather bug app. That is the one that we use for lightning strikes. God forbid. Or closer, we're shutting down for 30 minutes, and we're just watching the radar. And if it strikes again, we're restarting the 30 minutes. That's how that works.
And it's, I have a building to go to. It's right there on Greenwood. So we're down here, and we have to be changed off with my classroom. And so it's right there, and we're a good place to go. It's nice and warm and out of the weather. Okay, so real quick, I'll just do this fast. Coach White, Coach Owen, Coach T down here. She's helping out here and there, and I love it, I love it, I love it. And then Coach Candelaria for the first time ever at camp. I mean, I'm so excited about Coach Candelaria, Mrs. Candelaria, doing this because she's been raising kids, and her kids are old enough now to be out here with us. And she's just absolutely, I couldn't ask for a better staff. Let me put it that way. Just to give you a quick background on me, I've taught or coached track for, I was doing my mind, it's 30 years, 29 or 30 years. I was the head coach here at the high school for a number of years, and just the opportunity to bring up and run the junior high program, which is the biggest program for you guys. A lot of these girls, the girls team in the high school is really killing it right now. And they're winning relays like crazy, and I love it. Every one of them got to start right here at junior high. And these guys can tell you, I take relays what? Serious, really serious. I love the relays. I coach the game. It's part of the sport. And I love it. So it's absolutely terrific. The kids are doing a great job. I love coaching this level. I love coaching you guys to be able to see what the kids are doing. And then this is really my favorite part of the year because you look around, how many kids are active right now? And that's what we want to be, off the phones and in fresh air, don't we? And usually we have the baseball team over there, but they're a big problem for Monte Vista State. So thank you guys for letting us, make your kids run and get out of breath and do all those things. Be patient with me also too, guys, because your kids don't quite know what they're running yet. and we're just experimenting. Some kids know, and I can do, and some kids are just, they're going to try something, they go, Mr. White, never do that again, I'm not doing that again. And then believe me, if I see that that's not a good fit for them, I will say, I see it. But if I see, I think you can do that, then I will keep pushing them gently towards what I see the potential of. And just be patient with it. If junior high thought about, hey, guess what, you're going to be here, you're going to be in the 11th grade, we just don't know yet. We'll get them in the event that they're best in, and it might take to the end of their 8th grade year that they figure that out. It could take them to their senior year to figure it out. I coached plenty of kids over here that it took them to their senior year to finally find the event that they could stay do well in. And so just be patient, and we always, like, we did a 400 today. You guys did? No, you're alive. Did it hurt a little bit? It hurt, but you're alive right now. You're good. You're good.
Did you do 400?
So, we said about running, that if you run so hard that you pass.
See?
These guys are doing a really, really great job. I really appreciate it. So, I don't really want to say anything else, guys, except Mr. Compton talked about the volunteer thing. So this is where I have to be a little bit of a salesman. When you think about all the different events that junior high schools put on, track people will ask for those volunteers. And there is a way to do it without parents. And I can't stand it. And it might happen this weekend. Because I already saw the letter from Mr. Conte. By the way, coaches, you might have to run an event. And if I have to run an event, I don't get to coach my kids. And I'm still here running an event. I don't like that. Because I'm here, we're here for the kids. We want to be there talking to them, helping them, coaching them, getting them ready. In the rate, I don't want to be stuck at long jump, not coaching my kids. Now, I'll be able to coach the couple kids doing long jump, and I won't be able to do this high jump. I won't be able to get kids warmed up. So, in order for that to happen properly, I think maybe I made Mr. Compton a little scared when I first put out this. My wife and I have been coaching track forever, and we also officiate in the state of Colorado, so we know a lot. I always talk about my wife knows way more about track than I do. She's got 2 rings from a huge school in Phoenix. She's state championship coach in Phoenix for years, and she knows her stuff, so we know exactly what a good meet looks like. And so I wrote a document out for Mr. Buckley to see. This is what a really well meet looks like, and it was like 35 people, and he went, "What? You're kidding me?" And I said, "Well, that's the best case. Best case. But if we can have, 2 parents at each event help run it, we can get kids to volunteer to help do things like break events, pick up the disc, and so on. I know it's asking a lot, but the field events is the biggest thing. And typically the field events on a tri-meet where there's only 3 teams, it's a little over an hour commitment, and it's done. On a Saturday meet with 8 teams, it might be about a 2-hour commitment, and it's done. And so it's not a huge commitment. But having adults there running it and letting the coaches coach is huge. Yes. You don't know a thing about it. We'll teach you. Yeah. Yeah. Most of it's reading the tape measure. Reading the tape measure. Yeah. So most of it's reading the tape measure, and it's also just fun to just be around the kids in the area and support them. And it's a nice way to get to know kids from around the area, get to know your own kids and how they interact with kids in the different schools and so on. We also would have timers, and for part of the meet you'd need 8 timers, but I don't know if you guys realize either. Our track is different. On the front stretch there's 8 lanes, but all the way around there's only 6 lanes. So 100 meter and the hurdles and the 50 meter is an 8-lane track. Everything else is going to be 6-lane. So we start the meet with 8 timers, and then 2 can drop off, and we keep 6 timers there. And so typically we have 6 people with a timer, and we have a watch that everybody, you don't have a stopwatch, you just have a button. And when the gun goes off, one person starts it, and then all you have to do is stop it, watch your lane. If I'm lane 1, whoever comes across lane 1, I'm stopping. If I'm lane 8, I gotta see lane 8, stop it. And then it reads it out, and then we attach it, and so on. High school does, you guys realize high school doesn't do anything like that. You guys know how many timers they need in the high school? 0. It's all done with a computer and a camera and all. And it's to 1,000 a second. They can do it to 1,000 like to get where we use that system, because then we don't, there's no question who wins the race. And when Coach Compton talked about unsportsmanlike, I had a coach for another team. Just shooting me out like crazy because the very nice volunteer who was timing missed the lane, and he just wanted to take that person's neck off. And I'm like, it's here. They made a mistake. It's a big deal. I'll let him run the race again. It was 100 meters, like big deal. Run 100 meters again. It's not that hard. But he was so inappropriate. And I said, listen, it's okay. Just have to run it again. It's okay. But we appreciate you guys doing that, and we can't do it without you guys. We really can't. It's a nice way to reward your kids. That's again 35 people. Best case scenario, you could probably get away with 25. And then I have to sign up here if you want to think about it. So we've got it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to see where you think you fit, and you just write your name in there. Okay. We have the only 2 meets. One is a tri-meet. Those are done within about 3.5 hours. And then we have the Saturday meet, which I don't know how many teams yet. We have 8 at least right now. So it could be upwards as 10 teams, 12 teams. We'll see. Bigger the better anyway. It's a better event. Did I get everything? I love your kids. They're awesome. They're awesome. I think that just to give you a little personal thing, that COVID year was so hard and not getting kids out. We had a really short track season. So great to see out here and everybody's together and everybody's having fun and laughing, seeing each other's faces, and we're just having a great time. And your kids are absolutely terrific. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you guys ever need to get a hold of me too, again, I teach in that funny looking little building over there. But I'm available for anybody. I've got a lot of history here. I can tell you stories about that one right there. I've been around for a long time. I really have. So yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's as mean as you are. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to have to give you both when we do this. So, Coach Owen has, if you want it, here's a printed schedule, and then here's the records that we have and records that were broken in the last couple of years, just so you know, like, it's a good measurement of time, what's a good time. Do you guys remember what a good time for 400 I told you guys was? For boys, if you can break 60, girls, if you can get 65 to 68.
Oh, you're right.
So this tells you kind of where we are with that.
Just imagine if you put your name up there.
I probably have.
I don't really care.
I know I have one.
I don't like this.
And then
I
last
only
thing.
like throwing.
I know what I'm saying. Okay, you don't want to put your name up on the record.
To keep up 400.
Stop being like that.
It's like managing an income. That's what I always call it. There's so many moving parts. So many different events going on.
Stop being like that.
Coaches, 4 coaches can't be everywhere at one time. So we teach the kids to coach each other, which is a huge skill. I will coach you when I can. If I got to run over here and coach these guys, you got to coach each other. And that communication skill and that leadership skill is huge. It's my favorite thing in the world. Sorry, football guys. I love football too, but I love coaching track. I love coaching track. Right here, guys. It's all about the human spirit. I appreciate you guys very much. So I will go down if you want to meet me there if you're thinking about volunteering, and I can give you the clipboard. Any questions?
Don't get that.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, I think so.